Mark Dice, media analysis, social critic, political activist, and author. He appears in several groundbreaking documentary films, including Invisible Empire and the 9/11 Chronicles, and was featured on the History Channel's Decoded. His newest book is The Bilderberg Group, Fact or Fiction. That's got to be interesting. Mark, welcome to the Infowars program. I'm Gary Haven, and I've got Roger Stone sitting here. What say you?
You know, never before has Alex Jones's Infowars operation been more appropriately named, because we're in an information war. And as we've all been watching for the last couple of days, they've ramped it up into levels that are really beyond Orwellian. And of course, they're trying to stoke the fears, literally glorifying leftist terrorist Antifa. CNN is now literally a terrorist propaganda network. The network itself, their anchors, Chris Cuomo, is glorifying Antifa on Twitter. This is astonishing. And of course, they're trying to hype up the anti-Trump fever that we saw brewing last summer when events in Chicago were canceled due to violence, when we saw peaceful Donald Trump supporters being attacked unprovoking their attackers in San Jose and in other cities. We're entering into some dangerous territory. So it's glad to be with you guys. I think that, you know, Infowars is doing such a fantastic operation. And again, never before has the name of this network really been more appropriate, because this is an Orwellian information war that we have to win.
Well, Mark, I follow your tweets avidly on Twitter. You're a real truth teller, and I'm glad to be with you today. We really are in a Kafkaesque-like moment. I mean, it's truly Alice in Wonderland when the President of the United States speaks an obvious truth, which is to say that violence, when condoned or advocated or perpetrated by anyone on the left or the right, is wrong. And he is slammed for saying that. As if because of history, some people should get a pass while others don't. It's like saying up is down and down is up. It's a moment of true insanity.
It's beyond bizarre. It would be as if you brought your wife, girlfriend to a nice restaurant, and in the middle of dinner, you're like, you know, this food really sucks. And she'd be like, you know, and you're like, well, this restaurant sucks. And she'd be like, well, what restaurant are you talking about? You didn't name the restaurant specifically. You weren't really clear about what it was you were saying. You know, it's absurd to nitpick and mince his words about his statement, which he made right after the horrific event happened, right as really when the details were still emerging about what it was that happened when that psycho ran into that crowd with his car. And not only are they just, you know, upset and nitpicking him, I mean, I haven't seen them this upset literally since the election. This is perhaps even worse and more dangerous, because they're literally trying to brand all Trump supporters as little SS officers, supporters of Adolf Hitler. And unfortunately, they want to see more events like we saw, where innocent people were being attacked at Trump events just for wearing red MAGA hats. This is incredible. This is really, every time I think that they can't sink any lower, they do. But now we're into just dangerous territory. It became laughable about the Russia conspiracy theories. Really, it was almost dying down. It was almost dead. And then they found one little thread to pull on, and that was Donald Trump Jr.'s meeting with someone from Russia. They hyped that up for a few days. That died down because it's another nothing burger. Then Paul Manafort is being investigated. That's died down. I mean, what did he do? Maybe miss a checkbox on one of his tax forms? I mean, whatever it is that he allegedly did has no direct connection to the campaign. This investigative creep has now veered so far off the rails that it's going into just people's personal finances, no relations to this campaign. I can't believe that CNN, that these improv pundits, and that's what they are. It's as if you're at an improv comedy show where people give the comedians a topic to talk about, and then they have to make it funny. They have to entertain the audience. And that's what the people on CNN, MSNBC, all these, the big three, ABC, NBC, CBS, they're improv pundits, because they're given a topic they know nothing about. They have a role to play. They have to act it out and try to convince the audience that what they're saying is legitimate. And it's dangerous at this point.
You know, I've been in the audience on those shows, and of course they hold up this sign that says laugh or clap.
Applause.
And that's what the audience does, and it's about as genuine as being obedient to a sign. It's interesting. They the ones that have tried to stick something to Trump, and they've had to move through all of these events that you just went through. They've been unsuccessful in getting anything to stick. But what they have been successful with is keeping us from talking about the real criminals, the real crimes. I have a lot of experience in Haiti, where I saw firsthand the Clinton Foundation get away with stealing literally billions of dollars from the poorest of the poor. And not only was that not being covered, but the people that were going to testify against them. One of them just a few weeks ago was suicided on the Saturday before he was to talk on Tuesday. But there's just so many real things going on. Debbie Wasserman Schultz, for example, that they have been successful in filling the news cycle. There's only so many minutes a day of news, successfully filling the news cycle so that they've provided cover for so many things. Seth Rich, the DNC claiming that it was Russia when they had actually discovered it, released it. So you got to give them credit. Even though we're frustrated and kind of chattering, trying to defend Trump all day long, they have been able to move through the news cycles one after the other and provide cover for the real criminals out there.
And it's sad that we have to keep fighting back and keep debunking them on a daily basis. I mean, these allegations that Trump is a racist, let alone a white supremacist supporter, they're so absurd. They've been debunked for literally decades. I mean, Trump's own inner circle. I mean, Rogers worked with him. You guys know this. Omarosa, he's promoted black women to positions of power within his organizations. It's so insane. Because the people who actually know him, the people who have worked with him, are just shaking their head at this. But unfortunately, you have the public, the general public, the general liberals who've just tuned out, are so easily manipulated by this. And now they're not only trying to paint all Trump supporters, to alt-right and racist, white supremacist. They're doing the same thing with anybody who is concerned about censorship on the internet. As you guys know, there's some protests that were planned. I don't know, I think some of them have been canceled due to security concerns, protesting Google's censorship regarding the firing of that engineer over his memo, which laid out some basic biological and sociological facts about men and women in a very, calm tone. And now they're painting those protesters as being the same people who gathered in Charlottesville, Virginia for the alt-right march. It's so insane.
Well said, Mark. Taking a break now. We'll be back in a few.
All right. I'm Roger Stone with Gary Heaven. We're here on the Alex Jones Show with our guest, Mark Dice. Gary, you had another question for Mark?
Yeah, Mark, I just want to thank you for the great work you're doing. I just happened to have you pop up on my internet last night and watch you. So, here you are today in front of me, and I get to talk with you. Really great job. People that want to get in touch with you can do it through, this is probably the easiest website I've ever seen, markdice.com.
And that takes me directly to my YouTube channel. I'm on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. YouTube is kind of my primary platform where on almost a daily basis, I just debunk the fake news. Many of my videos are getting more viewers literally than CNN has. And that's why they're trying to shut down YouTubers. As you guys may have seen, they've been demonetizing news channels like mine, controversial videos, and they just may have kicked a bee's nest because just last week they demonetized Diamond and Silk's channel. They're the two hilarious black sisters that give commentary on the news and support Donald Trump.
I love them.
They're absolutely hilarious. They've become a YouTube sensation, internet sensation. President Trump noticed them during the campaign. They came out to events. And so YouTube demonetized their channel by 95% last week. Same thing they've done to mine, same thing they've done to anyone, trying to prevent them from becoming full-time YouTubers or full-time, news commentators. And so they have just demonetized, taken away the income of one of, if not the most favorite channel of the President of the United States, of two women who just a week earlier were invited to a meeting with the Department of Labor or the Department of Commerce to talk about developing their business as part of a program to help minority business owners.
Yeah,
So
I'm going to say, Mark, I see this attack on Diamond and Silk as strictly what it is, racism. They're being attacked because they're black and they're for Donald Trump. It's outrageous. Where are the faux tears now of Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson and Black Lives Matter? Why aren't they standing up for Diamond and Silk? It just shows you how fraudulent the whole thing is.
Yeah, any black conservative gets attacked. It just comes with the territory.
Yep. There was a teenager, a young teenager, I can't remember his name, who was denouncing Barack Obama, making YouTube videos, and then supports President Trump. And, there were large portions of people online that were trying to hunt him down and find out where he works and threatening to come and attack him, assault him at his place of employment. And, where's the ACLU? Where's Al Sharpton protecting these people? You're right. Ben Carson's home was just vandalized yesterday. It's so absurd. And so that's why it's so important that on a daily basis, Infowars and everybody just continues to stay vigilant. And, I see these attacks. They're not demoralizing the base. They're not demoralizing us at all. We're getting more involved because we see what's at risk here. And so we're paying attention. We're following the news. We're studying history. We're on a daily basis combating this insane terrorist propaganda that they're putting out. And everything so far has only backfired. They said that Trump wasn't going to win. He won. They said he hates every single thing that they've done is only turned out to be wrong. And we can use it to ridicule them and to show people why they should never watch CNN, MSNBC, any of these major broadcast networks. Their audiences are dwindling. If you look at their ratings compared to, in the 80s and 90s, I mean, we had major network television shows that would get a quarter of the entire television audience watching one particular show. 25% of all people watching television would watch one particular show. Now, there are tens of thousands of YouTube channels with 100,000 subscribers, thousands with 1 million subscribers, Hulu, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Infowars. Everybody is now fractionalized. And so these major networks are panicking because they don't have the influence that they once did. And that's why they're really coming after all of us, trying to hurt us financially, hurting Diamond and Silk financially, trying to hurt Alex, trying to hurt me, to really shut us down because they are scared of us because we're so effective.
I think that's exactly right. I mean, what's interesting about watching all these talking heads is how completely fraudulent it is. These are people acting like they're upset. A greater concern to me, however, are members of the White House staff, members of the administration who are now telling reporters on a background basis how upset they are with the president and his comments and how inappropriate this is. I guess the moral of this story is if you hire gutless moderate Republicans, don't be surprised when they act like gutless moderate Republicans. The people who work for the president are doing him a disservice. He deserves better.
Mark, thanks for joining us today. People can find you at markdice.com, and you're doing a great job out there. Thank you.
Well, welcome back. I'm Roger Stone. I'm here with Gary Heaven, sitting in for Alex Jones. We've got Mark Dice still with us on the line. We were talking about the faux outrage that has been manifested by the political establishment in this country while they try yet again to undo what was done at the ballot box last November. That's what this is really about. There has been, since Election Day, a consistent effort to destabilize and delegitimize the Trump presidency. Russia didn't work. The Russian collusion delusion turned out to be a dud. No smoke, no fire, no crime, and no cover-up. So now we've moved back to race baiting as an attempt to destabilize our president. But you would expect that the president could at least command the loyalty of the men and women that he's appointed to high office, at least command the loyalty of those around him. Joining us now is Alex Jones himself. Alex, welcome to your show.
Cell reception isn't that good here. Can you hear me?
Yes, indeed.
The reason I called in is I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I admire Mark Dice so much. I admire you, Roger, so much. I admire Gary Haven so much. And I've never been somebody that's just about openly on air saying how much I admire somebody, but I want everybody to understand something. We are in a total war against pure evil. And I was sitting here having lunch with my family, listening with an earpiece to you guys, and I had to call in just to say this, that some of us have had our differences, like Mark and I in the past. Both of us were probably wrong 7, 8 years ago when we were fighting over stupid stuff. But now, at a spiritual level, we are up against pure evil that wants to end our free will, totally break up our families, and enslave our society. And I just can't help, I'm just calling to say this, even though it sounds cheesy, a feeling of strong kinship with you guys, and strong kinship with black patriots and Hispanic patriots and white patriots and Asian patriots who want free market, who want true justice, who want true Western civilization / Renaissance / the best attributes of every culture. And to know we're up against scientific, conscious evil. And I was going to call in just to make the point that what you just said, the Russian narrative was a fraud from the beginning. It's dead. They rode the horse till it rotted. So now they've got the race bait, and when you look at it, it's a total hoax because they have nothing, and it just symbolizes how nasty they are, and they're not insane. They are conscious. It's in the WikiLeaks. They said, America's coming together. They want free market. What do we do? And it's top professors advising Hillary, and they say, make them desperate, keep them alone, break up everything, make them poor. And there's rarely in history do you have choices between something so good, this new American Revolution, and something so bad, pure globalism, that is beyond anything Hitler ever dreamed of, and is literally about bondage and evil and social control and domination. And so this is the maximum push of peer pressure to make weak-minded people turn against Trump, turn against this Renaissance. They are all over the news trying to kill the recovery. They are all over the news trying to kill the economy. They are so pissed that people get it, and there's $4 trillion in the stock market. And on all this other great news, 400 billion in new jobs, 1.5 million new jobs. And they keep saying failure, 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 hissing at him like a movie, the media like snakes hissing, like nothing I've ever seen, going, you'll never get your infrastructure. He finally goes, one person has an infrastructure. He goes, the last question. People ought to play that. So it's the last part of the 20-minute press conference. And the guy goes, you didn't get tax cuts, and you didn't get the other stuff, and you didn't get Obamacare repealed. You'll never get it. He's like betting against America, betting against everything, just with executive power. He has turned it all around with us believing and investing and understanding and getting involved. And it's so epic that I cannot believe how real this is. And that our lifetime, we are witnessing such a clear-cut choice, and it's beyond. It's 1,000 times wanting my football team to win in sudden death overtime, games I watched in the bleachers. I mean, I've been at Super Bowl games back when I was like 18 years old, paying $500 a ticket, watching sudden death overtime games. And just everything mattered that my team win. And when they did, I thought I was in heaven. This is 1,000 times that. This is the real game for my children, your children, and all of us that are in this fight. It's so precious what all of us are doing, not to recognize ourselves as great, but to realize we are the opposition, and to recognize our listeners, and to recognize how incredibly important this is. And when I see the strength of Roger, or I see the strength of Gary, or I see the strength of David Knight, the strength of somebody like Mark Dice, who just gets stronger and stronger and stronger, it makes me feel strong. And it's so good to understand that spiritually, we're not envious, hateful people, that we've thrown off the spirit of the world. We're not perfect. And that literally it is the spirit of Christ that is going to defeat the enemy. And I just feel such kinship to all of you and the listeners that I just wanted to call in and tell you guys how much I love you and how much I appreciate you, because, gosh, we're up against evil. But you know what? We're going to come through this together. And hearing that pastor last hour and his spirit, both pastors, Pastor Pena and Pastor Brown, this is so real. And you see people bullied by the world, bullied by peer pressure, believing they're on the real team. I've had people in Seattle, 99% come over and tell me they love me, probably 400 people, where I can't even go down the street. But I've had 3-4 people walk over, 1 out of 100 literally, and go, F you, Alex Jones, we hate you, and point at me in public when I'm walking down the street with like it hurts me, like their peer pressure hurts me. And I realize they're slaves. Thank God we're not like them. Thank God that we're not total slaves that actually care about peer pressure and things. We have an inner compass of justice. Not that we're good. We realize we're fallen and wicked, but we want to be with God. We want to be good, and that's the difference. I just want to say, this is an epic time, and we need to pray for justice, pray for truth, come together. I've never been a racist person, but I've been tribal, and I've been sick of people telling me I'm racist, and I've had thoughts that aren't good. But I want to say this has helped me transcend completely any classism or racism I had. I'm tired of being brought up in Dallas and being told I was racist, told I was bad, physically attacked because of who I was. I have transcended it completely because I'm not going to be part of the enemy who claims they're trying to transcend racism when they're the ones pushing it. We all have souls. We all are made by the Creator. We're all brothers and sisters. And I want everybody to know, no matter what color they are, I love you. And I don't even hate Islam, except that it was created by the evil to oppress people. I love the people. I hate their system of control. And I just want to say I love you guys, and I appreciate you and take over. Sorry, I'm always calling in. The broadcast is so powerful. And the Spirit of God being risen up against the enemy as the full spirit of evil rises up. For every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. And we can all feel it. It is so electrical. And we are now all literally that stay the course for truth and justice and say no to the peer pressure. Every level we go up like a game, but it's the real world. Those are facsimiles copying reality. We become even stronger, and it's not a power trip. It's humbling. These evil people are looking for power. They have no idea. They're just tuning into God. There's so much power. You'll be completely humbled. So back to Mark Dyson, you guys, amazing job. It's amazing listening to you, and it's amazing knowing we have Nico and the rest of the great crew that put up with me and so much and worked so hard, everybody in the whole office, to bring you this transmission. This is truly beautiful, and it's history happening. And I didn't come up with Infowars on my own. I just literally was spiritual. This whole fight has been preparing us every way, and every level we go up, God gives us even more strength to face the enemy. And every time we come through, but even if we're defeated individually, it's part of a larger plan. And know that God is God, not the God of this world, the devil. Back to you, great American patriots and great humans. I love you guys. I just wanted to let you know that.
Thank you, Alex. Now I think it'd probably be a terrific time to point out to you that we don't have a George Soros writing big checks in the background. We don't get big money from the Ford Foundation or the Rockefeller Foundation. We have to count on you. And to keep the doors open and to realize the expansion that Alex Jones has in mind, I ask you to go to the Infowars store now. Now, some of you may recently have seen the attack on the Infowars store by Ben Smith's BuzzFeed. And by the way, if you're interested in funny cat videos, that is the best place to go. But I want to thank the folks at BuzzFeed because we actually had a substantial uptick in our sales at Infowars as patriots found us and found these terrific products. No product will go online at the Infowars store that hasn't been rigorously tested and where we don't have hundreds and in many cases thousands of testimonials of satisfied patriots. So you've got a 1776 special now at the store, and these prices blow my mind. Brain Force, by which I would not be able to do this show right now, 55% off, $17.76. This stuff is terrific in terms of helping you with your focus and to kind of gather your mental energy. Survival Shield X2, again, 55% off at $17.76. Secret 12, 55% off. These are the very best of the best products at the site. Silver Bullet, 66% off, only $9.95. So do yourself a favor, do us a favor, do the freedom movement a favor. If we're not here, there will be no voice in opposition to what the CNNs and the MSNBCs and the networks are saying. So support us with your dollars, and we will support you with the truth. Gary?
Yeah, Mark, we're glad you stayed with us. Alex called in and had to share that with you. And I tell you what, I'm honored to have the words said about me. How do you feel about that?
It's been an honor to watch Alex's operation grow from just a website back in 2005 when I discovered it that was streaming the radio show to, kind of an early YouTube channel with Alex just broadcasting with a black curtain in the back to now what Infowars is today, a full-blown fully functioning, global media operation with reporters and contributors, the best guests, the best reporters. I've seen his crew grow over the years, and he's got such a great team now. And let's face it, they want Infowars shut down, and they want Alex Jones dead or in jail. And that's not an exaggeration. And that's why BuzzFeed did some testing on the Infowars supplements. They were hoping to find that they were being falsely advertised, hoping to turn that over to the FDA, hoping to get Alex indicted. And they are trying and hoping, praying to their Lord Lucifer to shut down Infowars. So it's very important that everybody watch, everybody's back. It's great to be a part of the Infowars family, to see Alex's operation grow from just a small website to what it is today. And it's incredible to see the mainstream media now almost every day attacking Alex. And that's when you know that he's doing the right thing, is when these liberal comedian propagandists like Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel are attacking him. You know then that Alex is doing the right thing. So it's great to be a part of the team, and we have to just keep going. And like when you're going to be physically fit, you want to stay healthy. It's not just going to the gym once in a while. You have to do it consistently. You can take a couple days off to recover and relax and get re-energized. But we got to come back into it. And so, Alex, I hope you enjoy your vacation. And for all of us, the listeners, the crew, we're all we must remain in this fight full time. We can't do it. We can't cut loose just yet. So it's great to be with you guys. Always good to be a part of the team.
And I like your gym analogy, being the founder of the largest fitness franchise in the world. You're talking my language.
Yeah.
Mark, thanks for being here. MarkDice.com. Watch his videos, guys. Are great. We appreciate it, Mark. God bless.
Appreciate you guys. God bless.